Hello everyone, welcome on back to Survival Challenge. Alright, so first things first, we have a bunch of wood beams, long planks, and everything that should be sold. It's like $100,000 here. And that's not obviously counting in environmental bonus either. Ooh, the other sorghum field is ready out there now too. We'll have to try to maybe do both harvests, maybe. We do have the other field to pick up grass on as well and get that all put into the production, I would think. There's no bales there, so it didn't spawn bales. Yeah, that it is all ran through what it had in there. And we can get some goats maybe today. Alright, so where is this best at sold? Farmer's market and sell everything. Of course, there are two different sell points. That's not a terrible amount less. That's $2,000. Oh, they're about the same. We'll sell it at the farmer's market. Alright, well, here we are. We'll just go ahead and sell it at farmer's market. Should be well over $100,000. We should easily be able to afford more land and stuff. Yeah. Should easily be able to. And obviously we haven't, got like the goats and stuff, but majority of that, those things that we wanted have been bought at this point. So we're really just missing, the pen and the animals themselves. Yeah, this is about it. And potentially a dairy. Obviously I had talked about that. Maybe not right away, just because they're probably not going to produce that much, because I'm just going to get 20 or 25, something pretty small at the start, just to make sure we're obviously producing enough grass for them. But we definitely look at a tractor to replace this and more land soonish. Obviously, I was talking about productions obviously for canola, and that would allow us to do other things too, and not just constantly do soybeans like I have a tendency to do. I suppose we do have the fields to spray as well. That should be on the list. Because obviously, you don't want to wait too long for that. That's it's one of those things where you don't want to wait too long to get crop destruction or anything. Get it done the sooner the better. And obviously we have 2 harvests too. We'll try to get to them today. At least one of them today. A lot of it's fairly big fields to do. I think I'm going to get the animals right now, though. I think that would make sense. Custom pen, too, as far as I know. Yes, pasture can be customized. All right. We can kind of somewhere place it right in here, so we still have a little bit of a room in here, so we can kind of get a bigger house, or maybe another small shed or something, kind of place it right in here. Yes, I do want to customize. Try to go around it, and obviously put it as large as I can at the same time. Yes, I want to place a meadow. That is a large field, too. A large pen. Obviously, it's a little bit weird right on this edge, but yeah, it works. Figured it probably makes a good idea, kind of just to make up as much of this area as we can. Don't really have much use for it, at least. I'll grab this. We can pick up what we have for the hay. Then we'll kind of see where we're sitting for capacity. Obviously, it's a lot larger than it was. We could potentially have quite a few in there. I'm not sure if we have much for water needs, or is it plumbed in, or what's going on there. Alright, so almost 38,000 liters here. I think right after this, we'll just get the grass over there picked up as well. And maybe we can do some spraying or something in there. We have a lot of things that actually kind of need to be done, and pretty soon, like I've mentioned before, we'll hit a point where we're gonna probably consider wanting to start combining fields. That way we don't have tons and tons going on at the same time. Not sure how much the capacity is. 15,000 liters? That's not a ton. And 116? That's it? I'm a little disappointed. Originally the pen was going to be like out here. And I made it way out here. What? I should have cut these oak trees down. They're worth a lot of money. That's surprising is that big of a difference. Or that little of a difference, I should say. Or 13,000 liters of food. Now, pallets spawn over here, so I probably want to try to make this look a little bit better. If I can, that's the thing. It is has a lot of trees right there, and I know for a fact I also don't want to make it so things don't spawn. Sometimes trees really don't like being messed with in here. That's probably just as bad, if not worse. Yeah. Yeah, it looks a little bit better off. See, now I got floating trees, though. Yeah, it'll take a little bit to probably get that how I want it to be. Oh, I was gonna buy some. Alright, so the plan was goats. I think I'll buy, majority will be younger. I'm only gonna buy 30 from the start and kind of let them reproduce, I think. So we'll buy like 20 younger ones. And then of 16 months. So these are older ones. We'll buy another 10. I like to try to have them reproduce most of what's in here instead of obviously buying, because that buying would just get pretty expensive after a while. I would think it would go into the silo. Yep, okay. I'll have to remember I have some in here though. And take from here and not alright, well, let's get over here and we can start picking up this grass. I do want to just take a little look-see, kind of see where it's sitting for fertilizer. Okay, it's sitting good. So we really don't need it then. And I want to check to make sure this has herbicide in it. Yes. I'll probably just do a time lapse and I'll probably get all of this picked up from over here and maybe I'll do the spraying as well. The spraying won't take too long. I wouldn't think, at least. And then obviously some harvests we got going on as well. Yeah, I think I'll just go ahead and start the time lapse. We'll get this all done and we can probably do the spraying as well. So I'll talk to everyone once the time lapse is done.
Nothing cuts quite like a memory, especially one that you're trying to forget. But I can't find the energy to rewind and reset. I know you don't wanna be used, but you use me to build up. You build up to break me down.
so we're just about done here with the spraying. So we just got, what, 2 fields to harvest? Like I said, it looks like we don't need to do fertilizer in the grass field, so that'll be nice. At least after this harvest. Obviously, there is that potential in the future we will need to. It's possible just the nitrogen was high enough that it, doesn't need it this time around. Maybe. For example, I know when we were doing that canola field there, when we were planting it, we didn't put that much fertilizer down because it was already fairly high, because we just had soybeans in it and didn't take any nitrogen out of the soil at that time. But yeah, we still got the harvest to do, so we'll make sure and get that done. We'll, go ahead and park this in the usual little spot here. I know that's not really in a shed, but I just kind of like having those tools right next to the storage point for them. I will probably, slowly kind of get things added into the shed. It won't be immediate, but things will slowly be in there. Yeah, I know at some point we definitely probably want to get a new house, because it looks pretty small there now. Just kind of sitting there, just a tent sitting there. It's out of the way of everything, but yeah, that actually doesn't look too bad. They should have some meadow next month. Maybe, well, it might be, is it late on right now? Doesn't show they have any meadow at all. Maybe it'll take a little bit for that to grow, or maybe it won't grow in August. Oh, here's your adult one. Yeah, so we'll have to keep an eye on them. I'll have to make sure we hopefully get some meadow at some point in here. I'm kind of surprised it doesn't show any. Obviously we'll feed them anyways, but still. Might come in later too. I always just thought I might automatically spawn with it, because I'm pretty sure I hit plant meadow. Maybe I'll end up replaying back the footage when I edit, and I'm like, oh, I did not do that or something, but pretty sure I did. Alright, I'm going to put this trailer probably farther closer to that field. I think it's a little bit bigger of a field. Let's park it in here. Really, it's not too far away from either one. Easy enough to get things unloaded if needed. Is it gonna... It might end up being lower this, possibly. No, okay. Wasn't sure. Pretty sure we've already limed this, got it ready for precision farming, but I could very easily be wrong, obviously, so. There is a chance this will likely be grass next time, I'm thinking. Because I don't know if we really have that much for grass, do we? 83,000, something like that. And then we have, what, the 30,000 in storage? 28,500. We have about 100,000 liters from both fields. It's going to be a little bit less next time from that one. And slowly go less and less in the future. I think we'll probably end up turning this into grass for at least the time being, until we potentially get another field. Buy more land, I should say. And then at some point some of these fields will get combined, and maybe that grass field will become a part of that longer field, and we'll just have one bigger grass field over here. That's much more of a long-term thing, but we'll see. You know, obviously there's some work to be needed over there to get things where it needs to be, and some of it might be an arable crop as well. Kind of depends if I want to try to do cows or something in the future as well. If I do, then maybe I'd want a larger grass field even so it can produce enough hay for all of the animals. That's the main reason why that is why I even have a dryer, because obviously I could feed the goats just straight grass. I know that, but long term I might want to have hay on hand for cows. So I might just get it now and kind of just get into the rhythm of always putting my crops into that. Or at least I always put my grass into that. It does have the ability to kind of make some things into silage in the future if we need to. Put straw and stuff. Which a lot of times you can just feed straight silage, I'm pretty sure, to your cows as well. So I could do that. I could just pick up some straw and put it in there and make some silage and just feed the cows that too. Well, I think I'll just go ahead and start a time lapse for this so we can get this field finished nice and quick. Then we'll do that sorghum harvest over there as well. So I'll talk to everyone once the time lapse is done.
Sometimes I lack the bravery, 'cause I know I fear the end. One day we'll see a victory. Carry on until the sun will shine. To break me down. How does it feel? How does it feel to knock me around? Oh, I'll make a sound. Oh, I'll make a sound. Until I hit the ground.
Alright, so we're on the last strip for the sorghum harvest. Obviously next month we'll have to get these replanted, which this will likely be sorghum again. That one over there will likely be grass, is kind of what I'm thinking. At least for the time being. In the short term, I mean, like I said, I do want to try to get another piece of land right over there somewhere and kind of make a larger grass field on that. Then try to put more arable stuff here and combine fields. That's one thing, is I kind of want to try to combine some fields. That way we don't have... How many fields do we have? We have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 fields. Like, if we could combine some, that would be nice. I mean, we could combine this one and this one right here that we're in. And those two. And then those two over there. So, like, just like that, we'd have, 3? And then that one would be a production site eventually, and then make more over there. They'd be larger. They'd be larger fields. That would be the thing. They'd be larger. And for the most part, we should be able to handle larger fields. We have a pretty big combine, pretty big drill on it. I would think we'd be able to manage just fine. Maybe like a bigger lime spreader at some point, but that's kind of just being picky almost at this point of like, oh, what do I pick? But once this gets emptied, I'll probably just put what I can into the chickens and then see from there. They'll take a good amount of it. We do have a good amount of it in storage as well. 20,000 liters. Right, 35,500 liters from both of the fields. So yeah, we'll be adding like 20 more thousand liters into the silo as well. Quite a bit. Yeah, I think it'll take a little bit of finagling to kind of get the fields how we want them and in the places that we want them. But I know basically every time I've done a survival challenge, there's a point where all of a sudden I'm like, well, we got to combine some fields because we got too many. Because the thing with survival challenges, you don't have any workers, so it's just me. So obviously, if you have a bunch, it makes things tough to kind of get everything done all the time. So if you combine it, it makes it a little bit easier. They're just bigger. Obviously, I have considered maybe a bigger planter at some point, but bigger tractor too. A bigger tractor is gonna be 300,000 though, basically guaranteed. A lot of money. A lot of money. I might go after like a fast track, honestly, too. I have considered it because I am, now that I have Moss Valley going, I know for certain I have a New Holland in that series. I might end up going with the fast track. It's something I'll have to consider, but things get really expensive up here. And the fast track is fairly cheap if I get everything on here. 308, it's basically cheaper than anything else is. So, obviously I haven't used a case in a while either, so that would be tempting. The biggest thing is I don't want to buy something from the sales, which might be surprising. But I kind of just want something that's going to be new and I won't have to constantly be fixing it up or anything. This would be a tractor that we would buy and have in the rest of the series, probably. I don't know why I would buy another one after that, right? That kind of thing. But, yeah, the planter I would look at is, okay, I do have it. It's the multi-fruit of this. It's not too expensive. It's 15 mile an hour planting speed versus 7. It's also 7 meters wider. Would only use liquid fertilizer, not solid fertilizer, which obviously would mean we'd have some kind of leftover in there. But, I mean, we can try to figure something, some use for solid fertilizer. Would these... Ooh. I could potentially just use the rest of the solid fertilizer in one of these for a little bit. I'd have to put seeds with it, but I could use it just for a little bit, just so I can get rid of the solid fertilizer, whatever I'd have left. Would be an option. Well, anyways, that is about everything for today. Thank you for watching. Hope you enjoyed. Hope to see you in the next video. Bye.